I'm Darryl Briain, and welcome to this special edition of Mock the Week, where we look back on the events of 2021. What a year it was. There were riots in Washington, COVID lockdowns, and best of all, somebody shot Hugh in the face. Great days. Hope you enjoy looking back. Happy New Year, and see you in 2022. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So, what is going on here?
We've all been there. You're out for a stag do, everybody's up for a party, and the groom wants to go to a museum.
Is this the one kid who takes it too far on non-uniform day?
Is this the annual meeting of guys who own lizards?
It was a disappointing turnout for the first ever straight pride.
Is this a sneak peek at the next season of Queer Eye?
Is this a visual representation of the replies to any woman's tweet?
Yes, yes.
The bloke on the right-hand side is going, look, this is where the tour begins, but if you get lost, just look for the flag.
Is that bloke on the edge of the picture on the right? Is that the dad that's driving them there and back?
I just love the idea that they might all be just thinking to themselves, now they'll take us seriously.
You know what's a real shame is that the guy in the middle is actually quite attractive. Why are the good ones always gay or white supremacists?
That old phrase.
Yes.
This is the Virgin of the Year award.
And I am just out of shot.
This is a load of Trump supporters storming the Capitol building in Washington.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Ed Burr. Yes, this is a picture of some of the rioters inside the US Capitol building in Washington, D.C. After a speech from Donald Trump, many of his supporters marched to the Capitol and forced their way in to disrupt the certification of Joe Biden as the next president.
Can I say, though, that this is all because he challenged the result, right? And I think you just have to take these things gracefully. I win this show every week. Normally by a landslide. Now, you quite often give it to the other side, but I just take it. I tried phoning you for an hour last week to get you to overturn the result.
Last week, Hugh stormed the Irish embassy in his pants.
With a bullhorn. And that's a euphemism.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was, how many points did the UK score at this year's Eurovision Song Contest? James Newman's song Embers scored 0 points. This is the 5th time that UK has come last and the 2nd time it's received no points. It's also the first time, however, any country has scored no points since the scoring system was changed in 2016.
I mean, nothing against him, but it was a bad song, right? I mean, you know, if COVID was as catchy as that song, we wouldn't be in this mess, would we?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, getting 0-0, getting 0-0, you might as well have sent in Martin Bashir singing Candle in the Wind. Same number of points. Or more.
And another idea for people to get to volunteer to administer the vaccine, junkies. I mean, if you want someone who can find a vein like that, and a junkie who's really, you know, jonesing, it's like, you do these 20 people and then you can have your heroin.
I don't know much about junkies. They don't tend to share with others very well. They're probably just sitting here, here's more for me.
You're a junkie, aren't you, Ed? I always see you.
I'm not a junkie, Reese. I'm type 1 diabetic. I've told you they're different.
You're obsessed with needles. I always see you with your needles going, I need more, I need more.
Anyways, because people are acting like this is a very difficult thing. I mean, what age do you start, as a diabetic, what age do you learn to inject yourself?
Well, it tends to be from when you're diagnosed, rather. They don't go, well, we'll wait till you're 15 and then you can see.
You're just going to have to live with it for a while, all right?
So 13, I was diagnosed when I was 13, yeah.
So 13, but it could be younger than that, like, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not a difficult thing to do, like, it's not a...
Oh, all right.
Oh, no, no.
You have a go then.
Please. Please. I am essentially implying that if you can do it, any idiot can do it. But
Have you done it today?
Yeah, well, yeah, I do it, you know, before I eat and...
Do you
Will
go
you
to
do
the
it
same
now?
area?
Will I do it now?
We'll do one now.
No,
for them.
because I'm not. It's not a performing art.
I tell you what, the guy from Love Island would do it.
If the guy from Love Island did it, he would die.
very happy to, while I'm enjoying this, for those of you, by the way, watching this show as part of BBC Lockdown Learning, this edition of Mock the Week, Meet a Diabetic. So, what's going on here?
What he actually looks like is a man who's going, are you worried about how your loved ones would cope if they had to arrange your funeral?
Is this a legendary rock, paper, scissors player coming out of retirement?
No, that is the grimace of a man who's just stood on his own bollock.
Is he going, get in, it's not Dignitas?
Is the plane going, I'm sniffing this bus, smells great?
Does anyone have the correct answer?
Is he taking part in The Masked Singer? Or is the plane sniffing a bus?
I mean, it's definitely peaked with sniffing a bus. And also sniffing the bus's rear. Like, that's the way planes do it. Planes at airports, they're always pulling up the buses, just giving a bit of a smell, and then they're up on back. Oh, they're rocking away.
And Dara, if anyone should know about the back of a bus, it would be you.
No. Beautiful. The amount of times I've been on the road, I've seen a plane coming. Plane coming at me with his big plane cock, and it's coming at me. Get off me, I shout with my big yellow face. Get off me with your plain lad on you.
Is that how helicopters are made?
Is it Joe Biden?
Is it Joe Biden? Correct. It absolutely is. Thank you very, very much. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yes, of course. This is a picture of US President Joe Biden. This week he was inaugurated as the country's 46th president against a backdrop of tension in the wake of the recent riots at the Capitol building. At the time of recording, the inauguration ceremony has yet to go ahead. We record back on Tuesday, the inauguration is Wednesday, and then you see it maybe on Thursday. So we have no idea. We're just presuming it went fine. Obviously, wink, wink, internet people, wink, wink. We know what really happened. Oh, yeah, that midway through the inauguration, he whips off his rubber mask, and he was Trump all along. It's genius. It's exactly what the prophecy said. And then Trump went, fooled you, suckers, I'm president again. Now arrest these people. They're all part of a paedophile ring. And you won. That's what happened.
It was a short speech, but enjoy prison, bitch. Does have a ring to it.
It was the bit where Biden tapped his pocket and, oh, what's this? Oh, 11,800 votes. Making it rain. Our next round is called Newsreel.
Oh.
We play in a recent piece of footage and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features a Prime Minister.
Well, good morning and welcome to the briefing. Could I please ask those who've already been vaccinated to turn the volume down on their televisions so Bill Gates' 5G transmitters can listen to your thoughts? And now, Chris Whittle.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Well, if you look at the first slide, you can see, me and Jonathan Van Tam on a banana boat in Magaluf in 2009. I don't know how that got there. I apologise.
Prime Minister, should we be worried by the emergence of new variants? Yes, I'm particularly worried about a variant of the Brazilian called the vajazzle. Here's Matt Hancock. Thank you. I would like to announce this morning I've signed a £500 million PPE contract with my nan. We'll also do a briefing from the head of track and trace, but no one can find them. So, Prime Minister, I wonder if it would be possible, as it were, to ask a quick question, which possibly in some... Thank you very much, Robert. Concise, as always. Now, as COVID retreats, these briefings will cease, but don't worry, we will be back in the autumn with all your top stars in a new format, which we're calling Britain's Got Valence. So, in the meantime, Prime Minister, before you go, we were just hoping and wishing and praying and, in a sense, expecting that you might answer a few questions about the decorating in your flat. Did you know it had been paid for by a Tory donor? I would love to answer that, Beth, but I've just put my pen away, and in 15 minutes, I'm getting married, which I know nothing about at all. So, for the meantime, that's it from Slaphead, me, and the Mancock. Good night.
Thank you very much, Hugh. Where has Wally the Walrus been spotted this week?
France.
He's in France. Wally the Walrus is in France. Where has he previously been?
He went from Padstow in Cornwall to France in the middle of a pandemic. So let's just say, I think we know how Wally the Walrus votes.
As it says in the paper, he toured around Ireland, it says, then crossed over to Tenby, and then went Padstow, and now France.
Is he, do you think, on a gap year?
More than Rita Ora.
I think he's a bit old to do a gap year. I think he's a bit long in the tooth.
Oh.
That's just a cheap pun.
There was some reports yesterday that he was in Brighton, but I was just sunbathing.
Oh, Angela, don't do
It's all right. I'm not just talking about the weight. I'm 45. I've also got the tash.
He's currently in France. He's travelled all the way along the south coast. He goes to Ireland and to Padstow. Now he's in Les Sables d'Olonne. He's seeing all of France now, and then he moves to trains.
Do you think in a normal year he would have been interrailing?
Yes, he would, but he's not. Would you imagine getting onto the train, going, OK, I got a reservation, and then he's in the seat next to you with like a flipper just hanging over into your seat, and you're going, do I just stand? I got to go all the way to Frankfurt with this. Yes, I have taken a year out. Well, I suppose I hope to get a job in the arts generally, but I don't know what specifically.
I mean, it sounds like a heartwarming story until you realise that he only went to France because Priti Patel had him deported.
And also, the French are now furious because he is eating French fish, isn't he? That's the problem.
Apparently, walrus skin is so thick, you can say what you like about them.
I saw one once in a straight place of Kangaroo Island. They had little walruses on the beach, and the guy kept going, "They will kill you!" in a really scary voice. And the walrus just sat there, just staring at us as we like nervously take photographs. "Do not go too close. I will kill you."
And Wally isn't his real name either.
No, I don't think it is Wally actually at all. No one's thought to ask him because you get too close. "I will kill you." OK, what's going on here?
I don't know, but certainly someone's put up the mat signal.
Is he running inside to tell everyone he just got a lift from Elton John?
It looks like he wasn't expecting cameras, and then he's just been like, "Oh, quick! I'm the health secretary. Look healthy. Got to get them steps in."
Is that empty folder all the scientific advice he's been following?
Seems quite likely to me he is simply going, "Need a poo, need a poo."
We
all assume that he's running forward. Are we not sure he might just be slowly backing away from the
It's the fastest the government have moved during the pandemic.
Is he perhaps running from his responsibility? What's going on there?
Very droll, Bun, very droll.
Actually, he's not running the country very much. That's what he's not doing. I'll tell you what he's not doing.
He hasn't got a leg to stand on.
Oh, this is just...
Why do I now get more work on Radio 4?
Because I'm doing all of it. You want to know what the real answer is?
I just want you to say two words.
You say this is Matt Hancock.
This is Hat Mancock.
Correct. Thank you very much, Hugh Dennis. Very good. Yes, of course it is. It is Health Secretary Hat Mancock. What?
You mean Hot Mancock?
Yes. I guess I do.
And don't forget, Dara, he is running away from his responsibilities.
What embarrassing mistake did Matt Hancock make this week?
Oh, did he damage his brand by doing something right?
He went to a surgery in Bloomsbury to celebrate the arrival of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Which sounds like a great plan. What was the only flaw in the plan?
They didn't have any AstraZeneca vaccine.
And did they say we were waiting for hundreds of tiny pricks and only one turned up? Running from his responsibility. Moving on, what was notable about Prince Harry and Meghan's new arrival?
I love this because they've called her Lilibet, haven't
Yeah.
they? Which is the Queen's nickname, and loads of people are furious about it. They're like, it's the Queen's private nickname. How could you possibly do that? And I feel like if her private nickname is at a privacy level that I know it, it's probably all right for her actual grandson to give it to his kid.
We don't all have to name our child after our grandma's nickname, do we?
No, we don't.
I don't want to call my baby Long Boobs. Please don't watch this.
Wasn't that a Tom Jones song? I don't want to call my baby Long Boob.
Well, they make your boobs long.
What?
Babies do.
Oh.
Because they suck on them all day.
Yeah.
Do you not hold the babies while it's happening?
I really don't know much about this, please.
They swing like pendulums.
It's the only way new mothers can tell the time. Why were Conservative MPs particularly angry over the Owen Paterson affair?
Because they were sorry they didn't think of it themselves. How many hundred grand?
Because they were forced to vote the amendment through, which they didn't like. Then they were angry because Boris U-turned. And then they were angry because Boris missed the debate. So, about Sleaze, which he had caused. And he said that he was in Northumberland and he couldn't get back because there wasn't a train that would get him back in time. But not true, is it, that he couldn't have got home from Northumberland on a train? He could have done the tried and tested method and offered the driver a peerage, couldn't he?
Right, brings it. What might a £3 million donation to the Conservative Party allegedly buy you these days?
A peerage?
Being a lord is cushy, right? You just turn up, get paid 305 quid a day for falling asleep. It's basically the opposite of the opera.
There are cheaper seats that are more fun. If you, for like, I think about for £900 a year, you can get like a Merlin fast pass to all the parks. And you can wear whatever you want. Like, you don't have to, but you can go in the robe and you go, hello, I am Lord Nemesis of Oblivion.
There's so much better stuff you could do with £3 million. You could buy every single seat at a concert, and as soon as Elton John walks out, you go, it's just you and me, Elton. September 15th, 2008, you cut in front of a queue at me at Pret. It's my latte, Elton.
Surely you'll just listen halfway through the first song and then get up, stub out your fag, and then just walk slowly across the chairs and then not come back? And he's going, is he coming back? Yeah. Go, no, that's for a bit.
Sorry, it's really homophobic to leave an Elton concert by stubbing out a fag. I was the only one who could make that.
Yeah.
So look, she. Is that okay?
Hey, it's my 30th episode of Mock the Week today. Do you know what I genuinely got as a present in my dressing room? A Mock the Week mug.
Oh. You know, they leave under my desk loads of Mock the Week mugs. There we go. There's another one there. I could sell them. I got hundreds of them. In other news, which historical group saw an unexpected surge in social media following?
To do this job, you need fast feet, thick skin, and a regular...
Bollocks! And irregular bollocks.
Meanwhile, what's been causing disruption at Euston Station this week?
Buses stop at bus stops here because there's people at them.
No, but buses don't actually... the only bus stop if people need the bus. Surely the bus goes...
Well, they can tell that...
Someone's on the phone now.
Sorry. We interrupt this round because somebody in Zoomland has received an important call on a phone from the 1960s. What's that? Weatherfield 48. OK.
Welcome to the Greek Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where tonight we're playing for a whopping what fuck have we won?
Yes, this is former US President Donald Trump and former politician Nigel Farage. This week, Farage interviewed Trump in a world exclusive for GB News. What did Trump say during the interview?
Wanker.
Moving on. Which group of people did Priti Patel criticise this week?
When I was a friend, I had a kid who was convinced that his dad was a cowboy and that he kept his guns in the shed, but we weren't allowed to go in the shed because it was haunted.
It's a beautiful story, Alistair, but you started it by saying, when I was a friend, I had a kid.
I'd also remark that our Zoom audience is, I would say, on average, 40 years fucking younger than last week's. Wow, that was a care home visit none of us were expecting to make.
If that had been funny enough to go out, every driving instructor in this country would have seen me as a hero.
Yeah,
Is that what you're going for, the driving instructor crowd?
That's a demographic I can really get my dick wet on.
Right, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a news programme.
This is the 10 o'clock news. It's a bit like the 6 p.m. news, but we can get on it.
In a moment, I'll be talking to some local sex workers. And while that's happening, here's Jeff with the weather.
Later on, we're going to be discussing if Crossrail is when trains dress up as boats.
Figures released today have shown that France now has the weakest economy in Europe.
Nothing really, just the usual, you know, pottering about. Bought a new lawnmower. Sorry, the news, 5,000 dead in national tragedy.
It's reported we're getting worse at putting things into context. That's enough to fill 3 football pitches.
Santa himself has been cancelled this year after a now-deleted tweet has been found, catching him repeatedly calling people ho, ho, ho.
It's 10 o'clock. I'm Hugh Edwards. That's Formula One's Hamilton, and this is what's been happening. So that's Hugh E. Lewis and the news on BBC.
Good morning. We are now reporting live from the Peak District.
Good evening. Pretty much everything is the same as yesterday. Good night.
And coming up later on, we'll be finding out why lazy Susans are making a big comeback.
The victim wished to remain anonymous, which is why he's chosen to do his interview here on Channel 5.
Another question from the audience. You, yes, you, there. The big, fat, ugly one with the horrible jumper. Looks like a pedo.
Well, England played Panama tonight in the World Cup qualifier, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Fuck me, they lost!
It's been announced there will now be a global top 20 chart for the most popular porn videos. What is the world coming to?
A quick warning, the following story contains flashing images.
Well, there was one witness to the shooting, a Hermes delivery driver, who said it happened any time between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m.
Three in Edinburgh and parts of Glasgow, 5 in London, and as low as 1 in Cornwall. Why? How many people have you slept with?
All the bodies were found beheaded, dismembered, and found hanging upside down in a freezer. This has been Glenn Moore for CBBC News Round.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear at the Olympics.
5 interlocking rings. This is the most complicated Prince Albert I have ever worn.
Heading over to one of our most expensive events here at the Olympics, it's the track and trace and field.
Good news, China have said that you can gamble on the Olympics as long as no one mentions anything political. So you're free to bet.
Of course, the javelin isn't actually part of the triathlon, so this wasn't an accident. This was murder.
For the last time, they're not Marxists. That's how they start every 100-metre race.
Right, let's see who comes first at the women's volleyball. It's the man in front of me.
Well, you have to say that is a very unusual way for a highboard diver to give a urine sample.
And now for a new event, the 60 kilos women's weightlifting with mansplaining. Here comes...
Next up, it's rhythm gymnastics, which is the only type of gymnastics endorsed by the Catholic Church.
And the speed at which these young men are hitting the water, it's surely only a matter of time before one of them has their trunks come off.
And she steps up for her first javelin throw. That's a very long javelin she's got there, and she's doing the run-up, and she's planted the javelin into the floor, and she's gone flying. Oh, my God, this is the pole vault. This is the pole vault.
And it's another gold for Ireland.
All right.
Well, diet is terribly important to all athletes, and nowhere more so than in the pad taekwondo.
And now we come to an event that involves swimming, shooting, running while texting, riding an e-scooter and 2 men holding hands. This is the very modern pentathlon.
Oh, and that's an absolutely perfect forward triple somersault, and he just is a little bit shaky on the landing there. What an absolute pile of shit.
You're watching the poorly coordinated Olympics, and this is shaping up to be an incredible day of sport. What a show.
Now, the Conservatives have, of course...
I didn't walk across your shot there, did I?
No, not by any stretch, even though it was mid-sentence and you suddenly appeared. Like, sorry, just got shot in a Bond movie. Let it go, man, let it go.